Alright, hey guys, I'm CCG back in the video. So with this video, I'm going to be going over a new archetype, and this archetype's name is Magnifistorming. At least that's the name they're running with so far. And looks like this archetype is centered around mystical space typhoon. So we're going to get started here with Magnifistorming Megala. This is a level 3 wind fairy effect monster. And if you have mystical space typhoon in your graveyard or your opponent controls no spells or traps, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if a Magnifistorm, Quick Play Spell, or Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, you can special summon one Magnifistorm monster from your deck with a different name from the monsters you control. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn, except for wind monsters. So this looks like it's going to be locking you into wind, very similar to Speedroid in that sense. And otherwise, yeah, it looks like you want to have MST in your grave, or your opponent has to control no spells and traps in order for you to special this out, but for free. And if you do so, if just being able to activate one of the archetype's quick play spells or MST, you're going to be able to summon out a Magnifistorm monster from your deck with a different name. So pretty great value as long as you do have access to MST or your Magnifistorm quick play spells. And then here we have Magnifistorming Erdem. So it's a 1300 attack monster with 800 defense. If you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard or your opponent controls no spells and traps, you can special summon this card for your hand, same as the other one. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Magnifistorm monster, Mystical Space Typhoon, from your deck to your hand, except for this card. Before we continue, I just wanted to let you guys know that for only $2 a month, you can get early access to videos, custom emojis, status updates, and a supporter badge that changes the longer you're a member. You also have a chance to get randomly shouted out in a video. There are additional tiers if you'd like to support me even more. Thanks so much for watching, and an even bigger thank you for considering becoming a member. Here is the Magnifistorming Swin. So it's a level 3 Wind Beast Warrior effect monster. If you have MST in your graveyard or your opponent controls no spells or traps, you can special summon this card out. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Magnifistorm spell or trap or Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand. So same as the other card here, but instead of searching out a monster, you can search out a spell or trap. Looks like just a lot of searchers here. Otherwise, nothing too crazy, but I do like the fact that you don't have to use a normal summon to do this. And so even if your opponent attempts to negate one, it won't be game ending and you can kind of just play off of that. Besides that, we do have a different monster that's not one of the level 3s. This is Magnifistorming Crothia. It's a level 6 Wind Winged Beast effect monster. If a quick play spell card is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. So again, another way of just easily getting this monster out. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Magnifistorm card and or one MST from your deck and or graveyard to your hand, except for this card. So you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for wind monsters. So upon summon, this is able to search out a Magnifistorm card or an MST. So that could be pretty great, especially since it's pretty easy to get out. And it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects where your opponent controls no spells or traps. So very specific. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that crazy in terms of a protection effect. But being able to search out your Magnifistorm cards or MST is pretty good. Here we have Magnifistorm Vortex Beauty Valrune. It's a mouthful of a name there. So we have level 9. It's a level 9 Wind Aqua effect monster. And so if a quick play spell card is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. Looks like they're kind of gaining 3 levels every time. When your opponent activates a monster effect and you have MST in your graveyard, quick effect, you can negate the effect. And if you have 2 or more MSTs in your graveyard, you can destroy that monster. So that is actually pretty good. Now MST is able to negate in some way through this card. So that's pretty cool that we're able to get this guy out. And then from there, have a negate active. It's pretty easy to get out too, so you're going to be able to set this out as spell trap and trap protection here, as you're able to just use a quick play spell, special summon this card out, and then if that quick play spell was MST, then oh no, so yeah, you do no, so you can still negate it, but then from there, if you need to have 2 or more MSTs in your graveyard to destroy that monster, that's pretty cool. Just as a way of just ensuring that you're running MST. Besides that, if Mystical Space Typhoon is activated while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. So you can have this reoccurring negate. And now here we have Magnifistorm Grey Pyrophonics. So if a quick play spell card is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. If a quick play spell is activated, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, shuffle them into the deck. So that is pretty powerful of an effect there. And if a MST is activated while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it out. And so just like the other one here, it's a gives you some responses here, and obviously because we're not able to do that with the other guys, so it makes sense that they added on to the big monsters here. Very cool, and this is pretty solid way of just responding to stuff, especially since you're going to be able to do this at quick plays. Since it's an if condition here, you're going to be able to do this in response during your opponent's turn. So that is very cool. Seems like two pretty good boss monsters that kind of saved the archetype here by giving you some decent interactions. So here we have MAGNIFISTORMING Stanza Tribute. It's a quick play spell card. You can add 1 level 4 or lower MAGNIFISTORM from your deck to your hand, so it's a Rhoda for this deck. And then you can add 1 MST, so you can only choose one, right? Yeah, add 1 MST from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And if this card is destroyed by the effect of MST, you can set this card. And so that's interesting, because then you could just set this card. I guess it would be like, because it's the quick play card, you'd have to wait during your opponent's turn or during your turn, and then you can activate this. And then so you first activate this, then in response activate MST to pop it. It'll get destroyed, so it'll trigger this effect. You can search out whatever you want, and then you can reset it. I think that's how it'll work, if I'm correct, right? You guys can correct me on that if I am misinterpreting how you can use this, but it gives you a lot more utility out of this card with the sacrifice of an MST. And here we have MAGNIFISTORMING Summoning Technique. You can activate one of these effects. You can send 1 MAGNIFISTORM monster from your deck to your grave. And so we saw that there's a bunch of graveyard effects, especially with the level 9s here, so that you're able to get them back out. Or you can add 1 MST from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So there you go, having that constant recursion. And same effect as the other one, which I'm sure would be like the same way. You guys can let me know though if I have that misinterpreted. MAGNIFISTORMING Psytrance. So you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects names once per turn. Draw 2 cards and discard 1 MAGNIFISTORM card or quick play spell. Or if you have any in your hand, discard your entire hand. So draw 2 cards, discard a MAGNIFISTORM card. If you do not have any in your hand. Okay, so this is a Lure of Darkness here for this archetype. That is pretty good. And I am curious because the fact that this says or quick play spell means that other archetypes can run this card. Especially, obviously, you're going to want to be utilizing a bunch of quick play spells to get value out of this, which there aren't that many. I'm just like, what was the name of that RPG archetype? Runic, or I completely forgot what it's called, but that one would be able to utilize it. But from what I remember, they have pretty good draw power as well. So I don't know if they would even really want to use this. Otherwise, you can add 1 MST from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This card is good, and that is going to be fun to test out. And the final card that we have here is MAGNIFISTORMING Sovereign Tyranny. So it's a continuous trap card. Once per turn, you can target 3 quick play spells in your graveyard and apply these effects in sequence. Shuffle them into the deck, draw a card. Wind monsters you control will gain 300 attack and defense for the rest of the turn. And then once per chain, when MST is activated, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent control, negate its effect. And if this card is destroyed by the effect of MST, you can set this card. So this card is pretty good. It seems pretty fun. We're going to be able to use this to just obviously recycle your quick play spells. Draw, usually it's going to be your MST or your MAGNIFISTORM cards. And then wind monsters will get a slight boost, which is good because the strongest monsters here are the level 9s, which are at 3,000. So it's still 30,000 attacks. So it's going to be your main beater here. 33 is great. You're going to be able to get over a bunch of monsters here. And then from there, you're able to negate once per chain as well. So if you have a bunch of MSTs, the value you can get out of this archetype is wild. This is going to be pretty fun to test out. This looks like a fun deck. It does remind me of the Runic. I'm trying to remember the name, but the quick play spell archetype, the RPG one that had no monsters besides fusion monsters. So if you guys remember the name of that archetype, but it did see some play I would say like a year or 2 ago. And so this kind of feels like that, but looks fun. And I can't wait to test this out. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.